Welcome back, my friends. Bobby Macy here with SeeMyCampsite.com. Today, we are in sunny St. George, Utah, about 3.5–4 hours south of Salt Lake City, an hour and a half away from Las Vegas, right in the heart of the beautiful St. George Valley. Today we are at Quail Creek State Park, another one of Utah's wonderful, beautiful state parks. We've got a reservoir here, we've got paddleboards, we've got boats, we've got camping, we've got ATV tours. The fun is endless when you're here. And the best part, it's open year round. You do not have to come here only in the summer. In fact, if you do, it's gonna be real hot and that water behind me is gonna feel fantastic. But you can camp here during the fall with very pleasant temperatures and even during the winter as well. So in this review, we are going to show you an in-depth look at all of the campsites. There are 24 individual campsites. We'll get to those, the standard features, what to expect, not to expect. We'll show you some of the day use areas because those are absolutely delightful. And we're gonna show you a little bit more about the general area of St. George. Let's dive in. So right behind me is the campground area for Quail Creek State Park. There are 24 individual campsites. Now, there are a couple of commonalities that you should know, but we wanted to point out the elephant in the room, and that is the grade that is right here. From the parking lot main entrance area, you're gonna have to pull your toys and your trailers up this slope to your individual campsite. And depending on the campsite you get, things are not perfectly level. Sometimes you have a little lip that you have to overcome before you get to the level site. So the measurements here are going to be immensely important for you to know before you come, before you book your site, because depending on the length of your trailer, you may not have level ground to accommodate that. So now we're gonna show you each of these campsites in an overall view, but a couple of commonalities to know. Each of these campsites is equipped with a fire pit with a safe ring. You can pitch a tent, but you also have an area for an RV. Certain campsites are pull-through and have partial hookups with water and power. Other campsites do not have any water or power, but you have access to general stations where you can get drinkable water. There's also one restroom located right in the center of the campground that men and women can use. It does not have showers. There is no shower area for you within the campgrounds. Now, there are coin showers down toward the day use area of the park, where if you have a little change, you can rinse off. But those aren't meant for full purpose bathing. Those are really meant to rinse off the sand when you get out of the water. If you want showers, you're gonna have to find other accommodations. You'll notice that each campsite also has what looks like a sideways taco shell, and that is your pavilion covering your table. Now, I love tacos, hopefully you do too. So you're gonna have a great time there. It does provide some shade. They're strategically placed so that you can have some comfort, but you've got that campfire pit, you've got a nice area to pitch a tent, you've got space for your RV or your car that may have a tent topper, and you've got that pavilion and a table so that you can ultimately cook some food and just enjoy hanging out. The other nice part about these campsites is that there's not a bad view of the reservoir itself. You're nestled in between two sides of red rock. On the one side, you have massive cliffs of red rocks that are kind of close to the road, but then on the other side, you have the lake, and the lake is encompassed about by a bunch of red rock. So there's not a bad vista within the entire park. Now, we already talked about the grade of these campgrounds. As we enter the campgrounds, on the right-hand side, as you do this loop, that is the higher elevation side. As you enter into these campsites and you're making your loop to find your spot, you're gonna notice that the elevation on the upper loop is higher. You're gonna have better views of the water there, but you're also gonna be a little closer to the road. As you loop around and descend a little bit, you'll lose a few feet of elevation. Your views will still be there, but just not quite as glorious, but you're further away from the road and you are technically closer to the water. Pros and cons for each, I suppose. Now, we talked about those fire pits, but during the summer months, St. George, Utah is hot. constantly exceeding 100 degrees. Now, it is very common during those peak summer months that there are going to be fire restrictions in place. So beware of that before you come. We talked to the rangers here at the park and they said during the fall and winter season, usually there is no issue with campfires and you should be able to have your campfire totally fine. A few more things to cover regarding the campsite specifically. One, you can bring your own firewood. There is a spot here at the park where there is some firewood for sale, but it might go quickly depending on the season that you're here and how busy the park is. Usually these campgrounds book up in the fall and they are full pretty quickly in the fall and throughout the summer. So you do need to book early. The other most important thing we can tell you about these campgrounds is that the gates close at 10 p.m. and that is an automatic gate. So there are a lot of amenities in this area that might keep you out past 10 p.m. Plays at Tuacahn, the outdoor theater that are wonderful, Zion National Park, some other forms of recreation. There are lots of reasons why you may be out past 10 o'clock, but those gates are going to close. In the event that that happens, you have two options. One, park on the road and walk into your campsite and leave your car on the road. If you are going to be out past 10 o'clock, the second option is to arrange and coordinate with the camp host, because the camp host can give you an access code to a separate entrance which would allow you to come in with your vehicle and your gear to be able to camp here no problem. But after 10 o'clock, that's quiet time. So the hope is that you can get the majority of your stuff here before 10 p.m. so that you're not disrupting other campers. All right, now follow me up this hill and let's go see these campsites individually. So now that you've seen the campsites and the campground area, we wanted to bring you to the north end of the park, which is where a lot of the day use area is. Sandy beaches, we've got the inflation station, which is great for you to just pay a little bit of money and then you can blow up those paddle boards or your rafts, whatever you have that's inflatable, so that you don't have to hand crank it. The other thing to know is that the south entrance, that has one launch station and docking station for your boats and a ramp, but as water levels dip down, that one can actually be closed. So as you enter into the fall season, you may need to come to the north end of the park, which is accessible through the same parking lot and same entrance, and then you can dock and launch your boat and jet skis from there without a problem. The day use area of this park is phenomenal. There's plenty of parking for single cars. You can haul your equipment. You have a nice sandy beach to be a part of. There are hammock stations where you can set up your hammocks and hang out, sunbathe, get wet, enjoy, just have fun with it. We've also got beach volleyball and plenty of room for your kids to run around. And there you have it, my friends. Thank you for visiting Quail Creek State Park with us. We hope you enjoyed. We hope this review was helpful. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. We'll be back at you soon with more videos.